look at where we are today. We're joined by Lisa Wingrove, a registered dietitian, and we're going to do a little bit of cooking for you later. But we're not just cooking for any reason, right? This is really important. It's a culinary medicine program.
Correct.
So it's brand new. It's not ever been done before.
Not in Colorado, no. We're actually leading the way as far as that goes.
And what we're really talking about is food as medicine.
Absolutely. So culinary medicine is really talking about the science of medicine and the art of culinary skills, how to cook.
Yeah.
So looking at what does the evidence say about how we can improve our health, and how can we do that in a fun way by engaging with people, again, meeting them where they're at, in their kitchen, and looking at how do we make food tasty and delicious while we're improving our health at the same time.
That's great. I think most of us love food, and yet sometimes we could do better. I was telling you before we came on, it's like, I could do so much better.
I think we all face that, and we're coming up to the holidays, so this is a harder time where there are lots of lovely food choices around us that are not necessarily high fiber, low carb, or low calories. They're usually high calories, low fiber.
I think that's like the opposite of what we're going to be
It is,
facing.
but you know, it's important to have some ideas on how to cook food that can help you with your cardiovascular health, or how to help you with your diabetes or pre-diabetes. And that's what this program does.
That's perfect. And we're going to learn today. We're going to cook something today.
We are. We're cooking turmeric tilapia.
So turmeric tilapia.
Yes.
Okay. And really, this dish was specifically you are thinking about cancer patients.
Yeah, I am. So I'm an oncology specialist dietitian, and turmeric has some great anti-inflammatory properties, and it's a great antioxidant. When I moved to Colorado 17 years ago, you couldn't find turmeric to save your life. Now you can find it in the fruit and vegetable section at your local supermarket. So we're going to be cooking some of that today. So is it
fresh, or is it
This is actually a powdered form.
Okay,
we're
great.
actually using
That's
a powdered
easy.
form today.
That's
Yeah,
easy.
right? It's not going to go bad. You can use it.
Yeah.
The fresh you can also always throw in the freezer if you're not going to use it in the
good
time.
tip.
So we're cooking tilapia today because this is a fish that's really low in calories. It's a great source of protein, and it doesn't have a lot of flavor. So what you put with it is going to make it taste great.
Very good. So if you're worried about a fishy fish, this is not
a fishy fish. No, that's more the oily fishes like mackerel and sardines, those kinds of fishes, which are higher in omega-3s that have that fishy taste.
Yeah. Some of us don't like that. So here's what really got me interested in the program, and I'm going to read this. So it was a quote in the NIH, so it's a very reputable source, and it said some eating patterns have been found to be as or more effective than prescription medication for some conditions.
Exactly.
And so that's a pretty big statement.
Yeah, so there is some really great research, particularly around the ketogenic diet and epilepsy. That's been known for a long time, that actually being on that higher fat, lower sugar, lower carb diet can actually help control the seizures that people with epilepsy have. But we also know that the Mediterranean diet really helps with cardiovascular disease. We know that changing your eating patterns can really help with diabetes and pre-diabetes. So our program really looks at how can we provide that for our audience in a fun and engaged way.
Okay, you keep emphasizing this fun and engaged way.
I do.
Love that. Because we're not going to do anything that's not fun or at least pleasurable, right?
And
we're just going to not do it.
Exactly.
Like if you have to eat the same thing every day, or if you have to,
it's boring.
It's
boring.
boring.
And when people get a directive, or a suggestion from a physician that says you need to eat more fruits and vegetables, often it's that steamed fish and chicken or steamed vegetables.
Yeah.
And that's not what this is about.
Okay, good. We're gonna eat something.
Someone did ask, oil and fish, is that really healthy for your heart?
Yes, it's an omega-3 fatty acid, so that's great question. So omega-3 fatty acid is actually in our oilier fishes, like our mackerel and salmon. That's really great. It's an anti-inflammatory. It actually helps reduce inflammation in the body.
Okay, good.
So great choice.
So good question. The oily fishes are good for you.
Yes.
But these are good too.
Yes, this is not an oily fish. In fact, this has it's very lean as far as fats go, but this is a great tasting fish. The other thing I like about this is very inexpensive. You can buy this $6.99 a pound, and so it really fits well in a budget.
Okay, so great question. If you have other questions, keep them coming.
Please send them in.
We're gonna do some cooking.
Yes, let's do that.
And we're gonna also ask you questions. So can you multitask?
I can.
We should ask you that before we got you.
No.
Okay, so what's the first thing you're gonna do with this tilapia?
So what we're actually going to do is make the marinade. So what we have here is is some sunflower oil. I'm just going to tip that in.
Okay.
And you could use another oil if you wanted to, one that doesn't have a lot of flavor in it. You want something that's fairly neutral so that it can actually take up the spices that we're adding to it. We have here a little bit of salt and a tiny bit of sugar to sort of add a little bit of sweetness to this. So, and we're just going to whisk that up a little bit with a fork. So this is very easy. You don't need high-tech equipment in your kitchen to do this. It's super simple.
And you were telling me that this recipe only takes about 30 minutes to make.
It's actually quicker than that. It's super fast. So what we're going to do is just marinate it. And what you could actually do is if you wanted to prepare this before you went to work, you could leave the fish marinating in this all day, and it's just going to get more of those flavors during the course of the day.
Okay. Now, why is this good for cancer patients?
So turmeric is an anti-inflammatory, and
Okay.
cancer patients are always looking for something that can be anti-inflammatory. Plus, this is a really neutral taste, and often people who have cancer, whether they're in treatment or not, they might have already finished their treatment, they might have altered sense of taste.
Okay.
And so this is actually really going to take on some lovely flavors. You can see we've got some lemons here,
Okay.
and we've got some fresh cilantro, which we're going to put, and we know that those pure flavors are really tolerated well and enjoyed by people who have cancer.
Okay.
So we actually have already
Oh, perfect.
marinated
That's
some
what it looks
tilapia.
like.
So that's what it looks like after it's been sitting for about 15 minutes.
And you put the lemon juice in there and everything.
No, I'm
right?
actually going to serve the lemon juice on the side.
Oh, got
so
it.
this is really just the
That's
oil.
all you do.
Yeah, the things that I just mixed together. So what we're going to do is heat up the pan.
And do you have to put oil in that pan too?
I'm going to use some spray canola oil because this is already marinated in some oil, so we've already got some in there. This is a very lean fish, so there's no oil going to come from the fish
Okay.
itself. So you're just going to spray the pan, wait for it to just get a little bit warmer. You want that to be hot before you put the fish in. It's going to seal as soon as it gets put into that heat.
Okay, now you guys have a program where you actually teach people how to do this.
Yes, the Culinary Medicine class.
Yeah, the class.
Yes,
the class.
So, yeah,
And the public's invited.
absolutely, anyone can come to it.
Yeah.
And our goal is to have this so that anyone, whether you're in the community, a patient, anyone can come to it, because we're more interested in having people engage and get the education.
Right.
Than, we're not interested in making money from this program. It's $8
Okay.
per class, which really just covers the cost of the food.
Right.
But if you need a scholarship and $8 is out of your league
that's
at the moment,
great.
anyone can come and do it.
That's great.
You just need to
and
contact
it's right
me.
here at the Health and Wellness
It's here at the
Center.
Health and
so we're
Wellness
the
Center in this
Anschutz Health and
beautiful
Wellness
demonstration
Center.
kitchen.
Yeah.
And the recipes are also posted on our blog.
Right.
which
And
is-
we'll put this recipe on the Facebook feed a little bit later today.
So Anschutz Wellness, and on the bottom of that page is the blog, the link for the blog, and all our recipes that we've cooked thus far are on there.
And this is something, so you're going to go ahead and cook.
I am. I think this is
I
well
told you
enough.
we're going to multitask.
We
so-
are. So ask me questions, Marla. It's
Yes.
all good.
So you're a registered dietitian.
Yes.
And how did you get interested in this particular way of teaching people?
Yes, so I was working in the cancer center here on campus for 5.5 years, and during that time we realized that our patients didn't really know how to cook, or their caregivers didn't know how to cook. And nutrition is really something that a patient can control, and often in chronic disease management there are so many things you can't control.
Yes.
So we developed a program called Culinary Comforts. And then I was offered a position over here 18 months ago, and we've developed it from that.
That's great.
So-
And not very many people are offering this culinary medicine program.
No one in Colorado.
No one in Colorado.
No one in Colorado. So look at this beautiful tilapia cooking away here.
Gorgeous.
You can see the colour coming up. This is really going to cook pretty quickly. You can see the fillet is relatively
Yeah,
thin.
how long do we need to cook that?
I'm going to say 5 minutes aside.
Okay. 5
And-
minutes aside.
Yeah, and then we're going to plate it and serve it with the lemon and a little bit of cilantro. Now, not everybody likes cilantro.
I know.
All right,
It's
some
a
people
love
get
it or
that-
hate it.
Yeah, they get that soapy
herb.
taste in their mouth.
Uh-huh.
Parsley would be great.
Okay, so you can substitute the
Absolutely, you can
cilantro with
substitute
parsley
the
if you want to. Okay,
So
do you want
let's
to
flip this over. Not yet. We'll just cook the other side. So what other questions do you have for me, Mala?
So I guess one of the things is, can people take this course so that they can be certified to teach it as well?
So there's no certification as such
Okay.
in culinary medicine. It's more the melding, as I said before, of the science with the art and the fun of cooking.
Okay.
Like, we know that a lot of people eat out these days,
Yes.
and what that means is a lot of people don't know how to cook. So there's a lot of research that starts with learn how to cook.
Really?
Like, learn how to cook, because if you are empowered with that knowledge, you'll make healthier decisions.
Well, we do know that it's healthier to eat at home
Yes.
than it is to eat out. Not
Yes.
just to mention the portions that you get.
Absolutely. I mean, most of us could probably do with an appetizer size at a restaurant, but we all go for the entree because, hey, you can take it home, right?
Right. But do we actually take it home,
I
right?
know, or do we sit there and eat it till it's
Yeah.
all gone?
Yeah. So what other conditions that people have? Like I was talking to you a little bit about asthma, like that's in my family and I have that condition. Are there other conditions that some of this cooking can help with?
So one of the wonderful dietitians we have who teaches us, who's a content expert, is Sarah Funk, and she is from the Digestive Health Clinic, and so she works really closely with patients who have Crohn's and colitis and irritable bowel, and that's a condition that's really difficult to manage with. They have sometimes place a lot of restrictions on themselves as far as food goes. So I'm just mindful of the
I know
tilapia.
it's smelling really good, you guys.
And so she really works hard to sort of help patients understand that you can have fiber and you can have flavorings in your diet without causing a GI upset. So I think that's a really that's a great way to help people in those certain circumstances.
Okay.
So yeah, but I mean, we were talking about asthma before, and there is evidence to say that people who maintain a healthy weight have fewer asthma symptoms. So part of having a healthy weight is eating healthy, right?
Right.
And this is exactly what we're doing today.
And you talked a little bit earlier about a Mediterranean diet.
Yes.
And tell us what that is actually.
So a Mediterranean diet actually focuses
Oh, that looks
on.
great.
Doesn't that look great?
Okay,
colour?
now what are you going to do?
I'm going to
lemon?
put some lemon on here. I'm actually going to squeeze some lemon on here, I think, because I love lemon on fish. And then because I'm also someone who doesn't have the soapy taste from cilantro, I'm just going to put a little bit of cilantro on the plate. And there is the turmeric tilapia. So that was very easy, right?
That was
Quick
really
and easy.
That
Quick
was
and
really
easy.
easy. Now,
Now,
what
so
would you serve with that?
So we actually did some wilted greens with this last time, but you could also do something with some brown rice. You could do some roasted vegetables in the oven. Roasted veggies in the oven are just great because you can be seasonal. At the moment, I just chop things up, put them in a bowl, toss them with a bit of olive oil, a little bit of sea salt, some rosemary, throw it in a sheet pan and put it in the oven. High heat, 400 degrees, 20 minutes. You're done.
Yeah, that's
your
great.
uncle.
That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want that recipe, we're actually going to post it a little bit later in the Facebook feed, and it'll also be on the website. And so,
And someone did ask if this is all part of a class too that you can take here?
Yes, you can take this class here. It's on every Tuesday evening in this demonstration space. You can register for it on our website, Anschutz Wellness. The cooking classes are under the Wellness tab. You can register, and you can actually see what the schedule is as well. So you can see we're scheduled the whole way through to the end of January.
Okay.
And so each class is $8, but as I said before, if that's out of someone's budget, please just contact me and we'll work with you on that.
Okay, great.
So yeah, easy to register.
So you talked a little bit about some other conditions. So rheumatoid arthritis would benefit from an anti-inflammatory diet,
Yeah.
it said. What is that?
And
What-
that was the question I think we started before we looked at the fish, was what is the Mediterranean diet? So looking at lean proteins, a lot more fish in the
Okay.
diet, plant-based proteins, legumes.
so like beans and
And beans and garbanzos and
beans,
lentils,
yeah.
those
Okay,
kinds of
lentils.
things. Increased intake of fruits and vegetables, but also using healthy fats, so using your olive oils, and we just use sunflower oil, but in a grapeseed oil, those very monounsaturated fats promote heart health.
Okay,
So,
great.
and also nuts. Nuts are a great source of healthy fats and great fiber source too.
So are all nuts created equally? So I heard there's some that are better for you than
So
others.
what I would encourage people to focus on is the almonds and the walnuts and the pecans. I also love peanuts and recipes if you're not allergic to them. And cashews and those things that are higher in the fats, just a smaller volume of those is
Okay.
a good idea.
Okay. So there are some that are better, but
Yeah.
you recommend them all.
I do, and Brazil nuts are great too.
Now, are there some foods that are high, like that will cause inflammation? So if you have a condition like a rheumatoid arthritis or something like that, that's foods maybe to stay away from?
So foods that have trans fats in them, foods that are very high in saturated fats.
Okay, what is a trans fat?
A
You have to-
trans
you have
fat
to tell
is
us- you have
a
to help
fat
us with
that has
right?
been modified chemically modified. It's used in a lot of processed foods to keep
Okay.
it shelf stable for a long time. So it's the kind of product that you see on the shelf where you might see partially hydrogenated on the label.
Okay, if it says that, it's a
Stay
trans
away
fat.
from it. It's a
Stay away
trans
from it.
fat, yeah.
And a lot of processed foods.
A lot of processed foods encourage inflammation.
Okay.
So shopping the perimeter of the supermarket, not the central aisles. The central aisles are where most of the processed foods are.
Okay, but it's not like anything that we've had here. As long as you're having
These are all whole foods.
whole foods.
Yeah,
right?
these are all whole foods. It's kind of like your grandmother would recognize this was a piece of fish. It's like a bag of carrots is a bag of carrots. A packet of whole grain pasta is a packet of whole grain pasta, whereas if you go across the aisle and you look at some of the packaged items, you can't really recognize what's on the food label.
Yeah, we've heard that
Yeah.
a lot. It's like if you can't read it,
yeah.
you probably don't want to eat
That's
it.
right. If you don't understand what it means, leave it there. Don't buy it.
So let's say we adopt this healthy way of cooking
Yeah.
and eating. You know, how long is it going to take till we actually can see results for the conditions that we're dealing with? If it's cancer, or if it's rheumatoid arthritis, or in my case, asthma.
So I think if we sort of talk about cardiovascular disease, those more chronic illnesses, behavior change is tough. So coming to these classes really empowers you to have the knowledge to take home to your kitchen and prepare those foods for yourself.
Right.
But it's not going to happen overnight. So
So this is not a quick fix.
This is not a quick fix.
All
I
right.
know that there are many nutrition things that are quick
There really are.
fixes.
Probably not a lot in health is really that
No,
quick.
and especially I always think about chronic disease. We didn't get here quickly. We're probably not going to get away from it quickly either. So it's
That's a good way to think about it.
commitment to making that change and
Right.
thinking about the food that I eat can impact the way I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we were talking a little bit before about why people eat. Like,
Yes.
Am I bored? Am I lonely?
Yes.
Am I angry?
A lot of times it's not because we're
It's not
really
because we're
hungry or we
hungry.
need fuel, right?
That's right.
It's just not that.
That's right. We live in a time for most of us of plenty, and hopefully for those who don't have like good access to food, they're able to get those resources in the community. But we often eat for many different reasons.
Yes, yes. And so noticing that and being mindful of that might make a difference.
I'm glad you brought that up because
Yeah.
mindful eating is something that is really, really important. Being mindful just means thinking about, I have this food on a plate in front of me, I'm going to eat it. It means not eating in front of the television. It means
Guilty.
disconnecting from your phone.
Uh-huh.
Because when we're distracted by other things, we're not mindful of, oh, do I feel full now? And we can sometimes eat a whole bunch more than we intended in the first place.
Yes.
It's like sitting in front of the TV with a box of Cheez-Its, and before you know it, the box is empty, and you don't
Like, how did that happen? Who came in here and ate my Cheez-Its?
That's right. Where's that dog? Right? The dog's
Must be
eating
the
my
dog's
Cheez-Its
fault.
again. But we also drive and eat too, and
Yes.
that's really distracted as
You
well.
see it all, right?
Yeah,
You know, and I gotta admit, I'm very guilty. So I might eat lunch at my computer while I'm catching up on email.
I am also guilty of that.
You know, I might in the evening try and be, reading an article or even watching TV.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I mean, I think we're all guilty of that.
So just disconnect a little bit.
Anything
Think
that'll
about
help
what-
us?
Yes, it will. It'll actually help you to recognize your satiety cues for when you're full.
So when you're full, you'll actually know it.
Yes,
instead
and we could all do with learning what our satiety cues feel like.
if we know what that is.
Yeah,
So just-
well, the feeling of fullness. Like, this is what it feels to be full.
Yeah.
This is what it feels to be hungry.
Yeah.
Differentiating between those is important.
Yeah, really great. So really great. We have gotten to see how we can cook this fish that's
Yes.
so easy.
It's super easy, right?
So super easy, and all your recipes are 30 minutes.
They're all 30 minutes.
So that it can't be that hard.
They're not. And we've done some lovely breakfast recipes with
Yeah.
frittata and muffins and
Making me hungry.
Right? You can eat that tilapia.
We're gonna eat the tilapia when we turn up. But if you have questions about the program or about how you can eat healthier or learn to cook, please go ahead and type them in. We'll try and answer them still, even though we're gonna wrap up here in a minute. We'd love to have you guys remember that it's Colorado Gives Day today. And so if you have a favorite nonprofit you were thinking about donating, today would be the day because your funds will be matched by an incentive fund. So go ahead and it's super easy. Go to coloradogivesday.org and you can donate to your favorite nonprofit. Remember, 9 Health Fair is a nonprofit. So we bring you local experts on topics that you care about every week. Tuesdays at 11, join us for our show Health Happens, and we'll see you next week.
Great. Thanks, Marla.
Thank you.